Hello, all my Cancer signs. Welcome to your monthly reading for the month of October. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Wisdom of Tao. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to know just overall for the month of October. And that can be like the overall theme or the energies you're going to be dealing with. Just what the Creator wants you to know and give you a heads up on your experiences coming up here in October. All right, Creator, for our Cancer signs, what would you like them to know? Okay, there we go. And you've got grounding. There's a beautiful bowl. I'll let you read that. It's the ox, it says, of course. And it says, stand up forcefully for what you believe. Your strength and intelligence will get you through. Don't rush your decision based on limited information. Welcome others' constructive opinions, but don't allow yourself to be pushed. And there's a great message in that. There's another deck that I read with that has, it's called The Bull Guide, and the author of that, Shirley Harnish, she always mentions this beautiful visualization of a bull, right? When people go up to a large bull, like this ox, right, that has huge horns and is in its territory, it doesn't have to protect itself and say, hey, this is my territory, back off. People just know with the presence of the bull that I'm going to respect that bull. And it's not out of fear so much as it is out of the ox's strength. It's just its size of its strength that you're like, I'm not going to be able to tackle that bull. It's strong, and I'm going to honor that strength. And so when you find this inner strength that you have, then other people recognize it, because we all sense the energy in each other. So when people recognize that strength that you have within you, then because you respect yourself and you respect your own strength, it just exudes out of you. People can't help but recognize it as well. And then the other thing that was standing out in here, let me just take a look here. So standing up forcefully for what you believe. Your strength and intelligence will get you through. Don't rush your decision based on limited information, and welcome others' constructive opinions, but don't allow yourself to be pushed. That last phrase, the welcome others' constructive opinions, is what keeps the bull from engaging and stabbing everyone with its giant horns, right? It allows other people to be themselves. But if people push it, that's when they get the horns, right? But there's this beautiful it's like this Aquarian energy too, of all these full moons that we've had the last couple months in July and August, and then we have the Pisces full moon in September. And October we start off with Aries, which is fire energy, like Red Bull energy, so you have this passion and this fire that's in here, but all that energy that's coming in from there, because we had 2 full moons in Aquarian energy, the Aquarian energy gives us this ability to see objectively and to be able to allow others to believe what they believe and do what they do. And as long as it's not, hurting us, we allow people to be who they are, right? And we listen, and hey, I like that piece. I like that. But it doesn't mean we have to take on everything everyone's thinking or their opinions, whatever the popular opinions or popular emotions around something are. We don't have to do that. And that's this grounding that happens, is that understanding that you're the one that gets to choose, and you don't have to, defend your truth, because real truth doesn't have to be defended, it just is. So if we find ourselves being defensive, then we can question, okay, why am I feeling I need to defend this? Is it because what that person is saying about my truth that I'm believing that? Because if you didn't believe any piece of it, then you don't have to worry about it, right? You're just like, oh, that's okay. I appreciate your perspective. But inside, I'm going to believe what I'm going to believe. You know, I don't have to try to make you believe what I believe. I don't have to point out that my truth is more truer than yours, or defend because I think you're trying to say that your truth is truer than mine. If inside you can sit and know that your truth is your truth for now, especially your small t truths, because those are the human small t truths that we're constantly evolving and changing with new information. And as our knowledge expands, you know, like when you believe the world was flat and then we discovered the world was round. People that had a small t truth that the world was flat defended it, you know. But if you are flexible and then you have an open mind, your small t truths evolve over time. Your capital T truths are what you find in your soul, the ones that are higher than everything else, like unconditional love. Every moment is of unconditional love, or a cry for unconditional love. That's like a capital T truth. Awareness when we step outside of emotion, that type of thing. So this grounding feeling that you're having for October is really about this understanding of being objective and being grounded in your capital T truths and being flexible in your small t truths. And we'll get more into here. Next, we're going to look at this stack here. This is the major arcana, and these are the 4 suits of the minor arcana. And that's what I do. I get a tarot deck and I split it out this way. These 4 represent 4 different areas of your life and or of your being, of your journey and adventure, and we'll get to those in a sec. But this is the major arcana, which for these, it represents a lot like this card, which is the overall arching energy and information that the Creator wants you to know for the month of October. So we will see what additional message the Creator would like to add to the grounding message here. Yeah, and I have this vision of an ox in a china shop. You know, sometimes we feel we have to, you know, walk on eggshells around everyone because we don't want to upset anyone. But the whole thing is that we all choose how we're going to react or respond to a situation. We're going to choose an extreme emotion of fear or an extreme emotion of unconditional love in each moment. We're the one that decides that. We're also the one that decides what story we put around a circumstance. Other people can make it harder or easier for us to choose unconditional love or fear, but ultimately we make our own decision. So that china shop is like, you know what? I don't have to go around being, you know, a bull and breaking things with my horn on purpose. But I also don't need to tippy toe, you know, like in the, you know, used to have in the, you know, cartoons when they tippy toe, it makes that sound. You don't have to tippy toe on your 2 hind legs, you know, kind of like that. You don't have to tippy toe around. But you don't have to be a douche about it either. Okay. So just understand that other people are going to choose, but they're going to choose, and you can, out of love, make it an easier choice for people rather than being a bully, and you know, making it easier for people to choose fear. All right, Creator. What else do you want our Cancer signs to know about their October? Yeah, so you've got the Hermit here, and so the Hermit doesn't mean that you're gonna be all alone up in the mountains, you know, during October, but this does mean that it's important for you to take time alone to yourself and to pull into your safe zone, because that is when you connect to your higher self up here. This is where your wisdom comes from. This is where you have your higher T truths that you find during the month of October, and that is connecting to your higher self. So, you know, and I love that here's the key the key to your truth is to connect to your higher self, which opens your whole life up to the higher realm, to, you know, the wisdom of the Creator. Because when you connect with your higher self, which is your powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, up there, we still exist up there, even though we're being this little creature walking upon the earth experiencing too. This is just a small piece of us that's kind of veiled, remembering who we really are. But we're up here experiencing this while being surrounded by thousands of our support team up there. You know, the Creator, of course, is up there, ever present everywhere. The Holy Spirit, our spirit, is up there everywhere. And there's our guardian angels and our angels, our spirit guides, our loved ones who've lived with us on this earth already and have gone back home to the other side, our ancestors, you know, unicorns and fairies and leprechauns and sprites, whatever you believe in those beings of unconditional love and light, you're surrounded by them. And they have so much knowledge and information, because all of that is outside of time and space, right? So you're able to look down and give information. Now, we won't mess with our journey, what we want to experience, because we still, you know, if we came into full knowledge of who we were, you know, 100%, we go and be gone, because we wouldn't need this anymore, because we'd already see how everything's unfolding. And how boring is that? We like the unknown. We like to experience here what understanding what love really is, understanding what trust really is. And so we still go on this journey here. But this truth and this wisdom that you're thirsty for and searching for, this understanding, the capital T truths, is the foundation of your journey in this adventure of October. I really feel, for a majority of you, I know this is a general reading, but I just feel this overall mistrust in small t truths, just because of these last couple of years, all this conflict, all the stuff that's shaking our foundation, has allowed us to see that some things we're standing on, that we've been told from the outside world, this is solid truth, and then you find out, no, it wasn't. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I just don't feel like I can trust anything. And like, you know, you can't in the outside world. That's the human ego. That's the play. That's the drama. That's the whole underlying role of humanity, is to prove that you can't trust everything you hear, see, taste, smell, or feel, right? So this beautiful, say, exasperation, not desperation, but just, oh God, the small t truths are driving me nuts. And this grounding comes with searching for this capital T truths. Wow, they just really went deep into all this stuff. But we're gonna move on here. As soon as I take a sip of coffee here. Excuse me. So we're going to move on to these 4 different areas of our life to get more details. And we're going to start with the first suit, which is the Wands. And Wands is the fire element. And so it represents usually like your spark, your inspiration, your drive, your ambition. But for this reading, it also means your spiritual side. And so we're going to ask the Creator what they want you to know about your spiritual adventure during the month of October. All right, Creator, for our Cancer signs, what do you want them to know about their spiritual adventure, please? Okay, there we go. Yep, so you have the 8 of Wands, which... what this means, like, you have these messages that are coming in, and they're coming from the spiritual realm. So definitely, as you connect to your higher self, if you take the time to connect to the spiritual realm, to get away from all the noise, all the fear noise, all those things that are causing these anxious feelings of fear to arise. It's about getting away from that stuff, right? So whether that's getting out into nature, going for a drive by yourself, if that's the only way you can get alone time, whatever it is to get away from that noise. And then when you focus on unconditional love and peace and joy and laughter, that raises your love vibration up to the frequency where your higher self is speaking, where all of your angels and all that support team on the other side, where they speak. And then that's where you can hear. They always hear us because they can hear everything. But for us to hear back from them, we have to be at this vibration. Otherwise, it's so loud in this lower fear vibration, the lower love vibration, that we can't hear. And this Eight of Wands is about, you're just going to be getting all these messages coming from the other side to bring you clarity, and it comes fast. So, you're like the gazelle, this information comes to you, and the messages come to you, but we have to be listening for it, and we have to be, available for it, right? Because if you're in this hard rock, club with the volume at full maximum, and someone's standing behind you going, "Hey, I have something to tell you," you're oblivious because you can't hear it. So it's about, but if you were out in, a peaceful place in nature, sitting on a bench in a park where it's quiet, you could hear someone say, "Hey, I love you," right? You could hear it because it's so clear. So I really feel, definitely these messages that are coming through for you in the month of October, if you are at that frequency. We're also going to pull some cards here from the chakra deck and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about your spiritual adventure during the month of October. All right, Creator, what else for our Cancer signs? What energy or information do you want them to know? Okay. This is the one right here. Yep, and you have inner strength, which this totally talked about the inner strength. So I love this message for you. And let's see what information this card brings for you from the book here. And this is the solar plexus chakra, which makes total sense because this is about your relationship to yourself. Where the root chakra is like a bull seeing red and charging and fearing and the emotions and how we deal with groups, how we relate as an individual to groups. The sacral chakra, the next one up, is how you deal with one-on-one, and then the solar plexus is how you deal with yourself one-on-one. And so that makes total sense because you're connecting to your higher self one-on-one for this. And it says you've pulled this card as a reminder that it's time to call on your inner strength. You have the ability to deal with anything in your life. We're all part of the universe, which has magnificent power and energy available to us at all times. You're being invited to connect to, acknowledge, and call upon the incredible strength that lies within you. Life may be challenging for you at present, and you are reminded that you have the tools and the ability to conquer anything that comes your way. Whether it's an emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual challenge, know you have the strength to move through it and come out the other end empowered. It's time to trust that you are strong enough and courageous enough to move through this difficult time and learn some powerful life lessons. The universe has always given you the opportunities to build inner strength, and it's up to you to take on the challenge and rise from the ashes. You may be required to look at your situation from a different point of view, or even be willing to let go of some old belief systems that are weakening your inner strength, like we talked about, right? Small T truths evolving. Whatever it is you are being guided to do, make sure to listen and put it into action. You have the courage of a lion, and it's time to roar and embrace this part of you in its totality. And the affirmation for this card is, I have the strength to face all of life's challenges with grace. Yeah, definitely. And so, obviously, there are a lot of challenges going on in the world. And so, this is, of course, also personal for you with other things that are happening in your life besides what's going on in the outside world. But I love about this connection to your inner strength. And then we're going to move on to the Pentacle suit, which is the earth element. And so this is all about the physical world. So, what's going on here on the stage that you're on, playing this character, and all the characters that are involved, and, your finances and your job and all that stuff going on out there, including your physical body. So we're going to ask the Creator, what they want you to know about the physical adventure in the month of October here. All right, Creator, for our Cancer signs, what do you want them to know about the physical adventure? Okay. We get the Three of Pentacles here. So, yeah, this does mean you have a lot of activity that's going on, but you're making progress, and it is a little bit of a kind of a three-dimensional type of awareness that comes with this, because each of these ants has their own purpose within the life. Like one of them's the leader or the master of a craft, and then you have the one that's following it, that's learning, which is like the apprentice. So they're learning from them. It's like teacher, student. And then you have the third one, which is they're not really involved in that directly, but they're the supporter, either emotionally, financially, whatever, of that. And so there's all this activity that's going on, like the ants, they're very, it's very predictable, ants are ants, and you can see all this activity that goes on. And so I really feel, and normally the Three of Pentacles doesn't bring this for me, but I just see all this activity, like a ant's nest has been riled up, or it's the time of the day where they're all woken up and they have all their tasks to do, and you're doing all your stuff. But it's activity. And I really feel during the month of October that as you're doing this inner search, and finding these capital T truths, you're kind of seeing it from someone like a huge, human looking down at an ant's nest, and you're seeing all this activity, and you're kind of looking at it in awe of just seeing how it all works together. You're seeing things from this higher viewpoint, and you're not engaged in it, like you're not sucked out into it. So it's like this higher view, like this was talking about, that you're seeing things, and you're not consumed, you're not drawn into it because of this grounding that you're doing and this inner strength that you're finding. And you're like, you know what? I'm letting the ants be the ants, and everything unfolds, and there you go. I don't need to poke at the nest or burn them with, a magnifying glass or whatever you did as a child to torture those poor little ants. It's like, nope, I'm letting the ants be, and they're doing their thing, and I'm watching it, and I'm learning from it. We're also going to pull a card here from the Native Spirit Oracle and see what else the Creator wants you to know about the physical adventure, and see what additional messages come here. All right, Creator, what else do you want our Cancer signs to know about their physical adventure in October? Go. And you have the Spirit of Fire. A beautiful card there. And let's see what message comes from these. There we go. I think of I used to live in Texas, and they have fire ants, and that's what I think of this. They, you don't know they're there, and suddenly your foot has several on them biting you and stinging. But this says, take risks. It's about transformation. Face your fears. Break out of old patterns and conventions, just like this one was talking about, right? Just because you've always done something in the past doesn't mean that you need to continue to do it in the future. Again, that transformation of small t truths within you. Try something new. Change your routines and your habits. Reach out in new directions. The Thunderbird is rising in you. Out of the ashes come new growth and new beginnings. And that specifically talked about coming out of the ashes as well, right? So the native spirit wants you to know that in native cultures, fire was thought to be a gift from the Creator that carried the power of renewal. Fire can maintain life, and it can destroy it. It's the warmth of the tribal fire, but it's also the thundering lightning bolt cast down from the sky. It can purify and transform, and it can annihilate. Fire represents your life force, the spark of life within you, and also the pure white light within you, your higher self. The spirit of fire invites you to take some risks and face your fears. We often are reacting to situations because of preconditioned responses based on our self-generating definition of self. And every time you change an old habit, even changing to a different breakfast food, it helps you begin to step out of a limiting definition of self. Purification by fire creates transformation. So take care to keep your energy in balance. Fire that burns too brightly burns out, but a fire that's left to smolder dies. So definitely your spiritual energy coming in. And this can also represent, in addition to messages, a great amount of spiritual energy flowing in. So that definitely resonates as well. These cards do come with a journey. And if this resonates with you, then you can do this in October. It says, when you first awaken in the morning, focus on the emerging sunlight. Imagine that you are breathing in that light. Gaze unblinkingly into a candle flame and focus your awareness on the inner flame within you. By doing this, you're activating the spirit of fire that dwells within you and around you. Imagine yourself to be a single candle flame, a campfire, a forest fire, electricity, lightning, the sun, and stars. And affirm this, may the light of the sun illuminate my heart, that my heart may illuminate the world. Beautiful. So there is this message, because this has to do with your physical world, about letting that fire move up within you and expressing that beautiful unconditional love fire to the world, that beautiful energy from the other side, not, acting so much in the human side of the fight or flight and defense, but the, letting that love flow to the world. We'll continue here, and we're going to move next into the Swords suit, which is the element of air, and this represents your mind. So it's your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset, your attitudes, your expectations, and we'll see what the Creator wants you to know about this mental adventure during the month of October. For our Cancer signs, what do you want them to know about their mental adventure for October? And you got the Heart of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords in the regular deck. And this is beautiful because what this represents is, she always holds this Ace of Swords, which is what you use to cut away old beliefs, old ways of thinking, what these cards have been talking about. So it has that ability to cut those away. But usually the card, and it shows a queen, she is holding on to the sword, so she is holding on to some of her thoughts and her beliefs, but she's also cutting away things, and she has this hand that's extended, which is Meaning that she's open to new thoughts and new beliefs and growth, because as the queen, she's almost at the end of the suit. She's gone through a lot and she's learned a lot. One of the big things, especially with being, having the divine feminine aspect in it, with that nurturing and this connection to emotions, is her realization that when things are only decided by those small t truths that we have and all those thoughts and those beliefs and expectations, it doesn't generally turn out in a very loving way, because it's void of emotion. And so she's learned to bring in the heart, to bring in the higher perspective, that connection to the higher realm and your gut, your intuition, your emotion, and bring those together into a beautiful cohesion. And those decisions that involve logic and small t truths, but also a large dose of unconditional love with it, are the ones that tend to take us further in our path, take us further into emotions that are not rooted in fight or flight, love, joy, peace, all those beautiful emotions we enjoy feeling that are comfortable, versus the uncomfortable feelings of fear, right? We're also going to get some additional messages here for the mental adventure from these numerology cards. And so we'll see what else the creator wants you to know about this adventure. But I'm loving this. I just really love all these yellows and oranges that are appearing in these cards, which have to do with your relationship to yourself and your relationship to others. And others are really a mirror for us anyway. We only perceive others through our own eyes, our own conditioning. So we really don't know people until later, when we uncondition ourselves quite a bit. And we're like, wow, you were really amazing. You're not as disappointing as I thought you were, because you don't have all these expectations trying to make them be who they're not going to be, and you're changing. And because you see the world as you are, as you change on the inside through this type of stuff, you see the world and other people differently too, which is amazing. All right, Creator, what else do you want our beautiful Cancer signs to know about the mental adventure in the month of, okay, it's this one right here, October. Yep, here you go. Adventure, woohoo! Number 55. Yeah, it's definitely an adventure. And I love this kind of change of mind, where you're not seeing the world as an obstacle course, but you're seeing the world and this adventure as an adventure. Because when you see it from the higher point of view, you see why you came down here. You see the reasons why you came here for a purpose, on purpose, rather than feeling like you're this person who's been dropped off on a prison island and this life is happening to you. You realize when you connect to this higher love and this higher perspective, that life is happening for you, for all the lessons that you wanted to learn and the experience you wanted to understand yourself, your true higher capital S self, more by experiencing what it would be like to be a small s self. And it says this card indicates a need to see your life as an adventure. No one knows what will happen tomorrow, so why not make the most of today? By drawing this card, you're being encouraged to step out of the rut of your everyday life to experience exciting new things, like the rut of those anthill, right? It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just a couple of minor adjustments can add a little adventure and zing. And that's what this talked about too, right? Even just changing your breakfast cereal or changing something up changes your whole routine and gets you out of that rut. It ignites this feeling of change and this acceptance of change. And this says this is a time to be inquisitive and daring. You might want to rearrange your furniture or experiment with new styles of clothing. Perhaps you could eat a different type of food, take up a new hobby, or go on an overseas voyage. Sometimes a new version of something familiar is enough to shake things up. Even a random act of kindness can be an adventure in itself. You've got people to meet and plenty of things to see, so open yourself up to the unknown. revitalize your soul, and broaden your horizons. Adventure stimulates the life force and enhances your connection to Source. I love it. And the affirmation for this card is, I broaden my life experience and therefore expand the growth of my soul. Yep, so it's coming back to your soul. Keeps on coming back to your soul, doesn't it? And then lastly, we're going to move into the suit of the cups, which is the element of water. And that, of course, represents our emotion. So this will be what the Creator wants you to know about your emotional adventure during October. All right, Creator, what do you want our Cancer signs to know about their emotional adventure? Yeah, imagine you're connecting to higher love and feeling a lot of different things, but definitely feeling a new love here as you connect to your higher self. You'll feel love that you haven't felt in a long time. Yeah, and you have the Six of Cups here, which this is called like the nostalgia card. It's about reflecting back on your past, because all these cups are filled with different emotions and different experiences that you've had. And it's great because in connection with this adventure, seeing things from a higher viewpoint, what this card means for you for this reading is that the more you understand why you came down here, which is to experience all the opposites of what you are, so you more fully understand who you are by experiencing what you're not. So in experiencing down here, like sadness, you understand what happiness is more. By experiencing what it might feel like to be limited, you understand your limitlessness. By experiencing conditional love, you experience what unconditional love was. Unconditional love, no conditions, nothing you can do to lose it. Conditional love, fearing losing it at every drop of the hat because there's so many conditions that we learn that you have to have all this to be lovable and acceptable. Such a fear-based, unsure, unstable love, and stable, peaceful love. So it's that whole experience. And so through October, as you connect to that awareness and start seeing things from this higher perspective, seeing life as an adventure, you go back and you realize all these times when I was feeling these emotions, I was choosing these emotions, I was choosing these. It wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. And then you can re-experience. It's like you can take a little sip of that cup and that memory, see it from a whole different point of view, and you experience that thing as something different, as something new. And so it's like changing up. When it talked about like changing the cereal and changing things, that can also be about changing your thought and your belief about a past memory. That switches that small t truth you had. Like an example, being, for my life, like being cheated on the first time, because I saw so many movies where when that happens, you're supposed to feel betrayed and devastated and heartbroken, and that defines who you are. That's my small t truth that we were told, right? That when other people's actions mean something about me. So I made it mean something about me in such a dramatic way, but when I found my higher love and that higher perspective, when I looked back and I saw all the times, almost 6 times with 6 different, relationships, I either was cheated on, or I felt I was treated poorly, or I felt I was used for my money, or whatever it might be. It's like I realized that all of them were my teachers trying to show me how I felt about myself until I saw it, because it was a reflection. They couldn't love me any more than I loved myself. They couldn't treat me any more than I was treating myself on the inside. And so when I went back, I was able to transform a lot of those memories and feelings to where I don't have any ill feelings toward them. I actually have respect and love for all my exes and all the people I was in relationships with, because I learned so much about myself, and I wouldn't have if they hadn't, presented those classrooms for me. So a big transitional and transformational opportunity around your emotions. And then the last card we're going to pick here is the Soul's Journey card. And this is going to represent what else the creator wants you to know about your emotional journey. But since it's the last card too, it's going to kind of like be a wild card. It can be what else the creator wants you to know about your October. One more time. All right, creator, what's the final message for our Cancer signs, please? Okay. You got discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Yeah, and this is a multiple layer, a couple things actually, just like two things is, one, this is talking about, a lot of movement and doing things that you want to do, what you want to accomplish. Understanding what you want to accomplish is something, and then with this inner strength, you're able to make anything happen, because when you want something, like a bull, you go for it and you're stubborn about it, you get it done. When it's something you want, if it's something else someone else wants, not so much stubbornness, it's like, I tried. And then the other thing is that it's like, well, I can't do that. I can't, do this and connect and all that. It just seems like so much. It's like, no, you can accomplish it. You put your mind to it, you can do anything. So don't short sell yourself, because you are powerful and you have more strength than you ever have been taught, and have been convinced to believe in yourself. You have more strength and you're stronger than you've ever been taught to believe. And this says your soul has a goal, but it has also chosen to incarnate into a world of distractions. Earth is a dimension of obstacles and challenges, but you have been given discipline as your birthright. It is time to remind yourself what your soul has come back to this planet to learn. This is a great opportunity to reevaluate your priorities and go about your daily tasks with a new system of managing your life, instead of being the passive recipient of whatever comes your way. Distractions can easily get us off the work of our soul, and if we give in to this apathetic impulse, we can miss many well-placed and pre-planned teachings needed for our inherent growth. Learn that the satisfaction of a task completed is more emotionally rewarding than a task delayed. And there we have it. Exactly what I was talking about, especially about understanding that the experiences you had, are for your growth and your development and why you came here. So a beautiful awareness is coming here, a beautiful grounding, a beautiful finding of your inner strength, a beautiful connection to the other side, and this higher perspective and this transformation of your, of your life. Instead of being a horror film or a scary movie, it becomes this adventure. Instead of a drama, it becomes an exciting, journey instead. So just know you can, whatever you put your mind to, you can do. And this is an amazing October for you. So as you go through October, just know of every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing October, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now.